You might have come across this meme. What if I tell you that this meme depicts a theory from the famous psychologist Sigmund Freud? Hi, I am Sharankumar and I am here to talk about the uncanny. Sigmund Freud is a significant psychologist who has studied the various aspects of the human brain. One of his studies resulted in his essay on the uncanny. Uncanny is the feeling of eeriness, mystery, and dread that is evoked by certain experiences. It arises when something is both familiar and strange at the same time that creates discomfort. Now let's have a look again at the meme I showed in the beginning. It is a meme that exhibits the age difference between some couples at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Peter and MJ are both of the same age and nothing feels wrong in it. But when we realize Steve and Peggy's age difference in that particular timeline, it feels wrong. We get reminded about how old the elder one might have been when the younger one was born. It leads us to think about social taboos like child marriage and being attracted to minors. The same with Thor and Jane, Cersei and Dane, and also Wanda and Vision. The Mr. Incredible face on the side stands as the representation of the uncanny feeling when the realization strikes. Sigmund Freud is not only a psychologist but also a literary theorist who contributed to the psychoanalytic literary criticism. And he also highlights how the psychological theory of the uncanny can be useful in literary analysis and thus help us in understanding how certain texts can evoke eeriness among its readers. He mentions different methods literature employs to evoke the uncanny. It can be achieved by many ways, such as doubles that replicate something else, objects that seem to come to life, compulsive repetition, reality and fantasy become indistinguishable, returning of repressed thoughts, uncertainty, and the feeling of being watched or controlled. So let's use this theory to analyze a text, and the text we choose is The Nightflyers. The Nightflyers is a science fiction novella written by George R. R. Martin, the author who is famous for his fantasy series A Song of Ice and Fire, which was adapted into the renowned TV series Game of Thrones. The Nightflyers is also adapted as a Netflix series. The story is set in a distant future where humans have achieved space travel to a great extent, and its plot revolves around a space crew that goes in search of a mysterious and legendary alien race known as the Walgreen. The mission is led by Carolee DeBrani, and the ship is captained by Roy Ayres. Roy Ayres, however, doesn't physically stay along with the crewmates. In fact, nobody in the ship, not even the mission's lead, DeBrani, has met him in person. He stays in a secluded space on the ship, to where the crew has no access to. The crew only meet and interact with his hologram that appears in their side, and in the earlier weeks of their journey, the crew was not even sure whether the hologram represents the actual body of Ares, and one of them even doubted whether he was really human or an artificial intelligence system. The mysteries behind the ship captain brings out a sense of the uncanny among the crew. They are familiar with the hologram's appearance and its voice, and have made conversations about a lot of topics with it. However, the hologram's owner still remains an unknown person to them. In other words, he still remains a stranger. The hologram feels familiar and strange at the same time. The hologram is like a doppelganger. It acts as a substitute for the real captain. It is also seen as an animated object by one of the crewmates, who sees it as a machine that functions on its own. This sense of uncanny intensifies when one of the teammates, who is a telepath, Dale Lasamer, senses something is wrong in the ship and claims that they are being watched and are in danger. His claim leads to a tense situation that ends in a horrific manner. His warnings make the crew become more discomforted and more concerned about their situation. They begin to fear the unknown that might have secretly surrounded them. Also, at a point, they begin to think about the dangers in the mission they have embarked on. The following is an extract from the book. In this extract, you can see that the space crew of scientists begin to fear that the legendary tales about the Vulcan could be true. They suspect the Vulcan could be powerful than Rangan, a hostile alien race, and the legend says that the horde from another alien race known as Fiendi just vanished in search of the Vulcan. All the tales they have heard earlier had felt too bizarre to be true, seems to make more sense to them as they get closer to the Vulcan. This creates an eerie feeling, a sense of fear and discomfort. We have seen how a novella uses multiple narrative techniques to evoke the sense of the uncanny. But this concept is not just limited to written text. As new forms of media emerge, the already existing techniques get adapted to them. The theory of the uncanny is also applicable to the contemporary digital media, just like the example of the meme we saw earlier. We can see the presence of the uncanny in a video game which can also be called as a visual novel. It is called Doki Doki Literature Club. Doki Doki Literature Club is about the 5 members of a school club. One of them is a boy, the player, and the other 4 are Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika. Sayori is the boy's childhood friend who makes him to join the club even though he was not interested in it. Monika is the leader of the club. All the 4 girls have different kinds of interest in literature and all write poems in different styles. There are few mini games about writing poem after each day ends, and the next day all the club members will share poems with each other and express their views. Few days go by like this as the boy spends time with the girls and get to know them better. All seems to go fine, but one day, while going to meet Sayori, the boy comes to know that she has been suffering with depression for a long time. He promises to care for her and leaves. But the next day, when he gets his hands on the last poem she wrote, he realizes things have got too serious. He rushes to her home to see her, but it's too late. At this point, the players may hear the theme music of the game slowly being changed and going out of tune. The music with which they got used to while playing the seemingly pleasant game becomes strange when something really bad has happened. This makes the players feel creepy and uneasy. But it is just the beginning of what is about to follow. Soon, the word end appears on screen for a few seconds and the game goes back to the main menu. That looks like this. The familiar menu screen has strange changes. Again, this makes the players feel that something is wrong and makes the uncanny feeling to continue. When the player chooses new game, the game starts from the beginning. But again, Sayori's name and face are distorted, like a technical glitch, due to which the game is not able to progress. The game starts again, but this time the character Sayori is completely missing in the narrative. The boy says he has no neighbor as a childhood friend and goes to school alone. There, Monica invites him to her literature club. The story is narrated in a way that everything is normal, but the player knows something is off, and as a proof to that, strange and eerie glitches occur then and there. Also, the player gets to read a poem by an unknown poet. This poem could make the player feel that there is an entity within the game that is aware of how its world is not real and just a computer simulation, and also that this entity has the power to alter things and characters within its simulation. knowing that something within a story world just deleted a character in it and restarts a new version of the story with multiple eerie glitches in it, the sense of uncertainty, mystery, and creepiness elevates the uncanny. This game or visual novel has brilliantly used its medium to do it. Before signing off, I wanted to ask you, the viewers, some questions. Have you come across any piece of literature or media that has evoked the sense of uncanny in you so strongly that it is etched in your memory just for that? Do you think there's any other way the uncanny can be evoked other than what Freud has listed out? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.